morning and welcome to Wednesday Wellness and Wisdom. So today I actually want to talk about wisdom, and I would like to address some change that I'm about to make on this page. This page was initially conceived as a place for women who had been diagnosed and or recovering from breast cancer could join and participate in the conversation. The goal of it was to really empower women to take back their life and their health and to feel like, yes, breast cancer is a moment in time. It's a stop on the road. It's not the end of it. And since the inception of this page, things are evolving for me and for other people as well. Life unfolds, and I came to a realization, just following my own inner guidance, which is what I want to talk about today, that I am and have been about searching and researching for the last 12 years the origin of illness associated with early childhood trauma or lifehood traumas. So if you refer back to the ACE study, Adverse Childhood Experience study, that was done and came out multiple years ago, the research is really the one-of-a-kind research that was a longitudinal study that followed people over a period of 20 years. And what they discovered as part of that study is that people who had had adverse childhood experiences, and they have what's called the ACE test, and you can go online and find it, 10 questions that basically tells you how high your score is on having had childhood experiences that are traumatic. Now, once you know that, if you follow in time and you go forward maybe 10, 20 years after that, you may start experiencing some symptoms of what's called toxic stress overload. And breast cancer and cancer in general is one of them. So I'm dedicating this page today to being free to thrive beyond trauma. So trauma can be defined as you define it. And along with that is this combination or this challenge between living our human reality and having to face the challenges we face, like breast cancer and other challenges, and also not being like a raft on the river being tossed around by the water, but being what I call a divine being or a soul inspired being in this human body. So I really believe that we are human beings having a soul experience as opposed to being a temporary spiritual being having a human experience. So our human experience is there to help us grow as a soul. And so overcoming and thriving trauma beyond trauma is a choice. We did not make the choice to be born in the family we were born into, and we did not make the choice of what had happened to us as children and earlier in life, or any sort of traumatic event. Yet we have the power, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. We have the power to make choices and change the course of action and the consequences of what our life can be and our health could be like. So how do we make those choices? Something like breast cancer can really rattle your boat. Your health, our health, my health is foundational to my being on this planet. So in my journey for the past 7 years, having been diagnosed in 2014 and then later on, 6 years later, I really came to a place where I tune in every day and I listen. People give me their opinions, people give me their reactions, people give me all kinds of stuff. And I do have a handful of people that I fully trust. And at the same time, I always revert back to myself and what is true for me. And how do I know this? Is because I make time on a daily basis to connect to my deeper, higher wisdom. Through meditation, through journaling, through prayer, I ask for guidance. And I listen. So now guidance is not something like a book being downloaded, even though some people may have that as an experience, having a lot of information coming through. Guidance is a whisper. It's an image, it's a sensation. And in order to receive that guidance, you do have to ask a question and be able to hear from this quiet inner place inside. Wisdom is not necessarily loud and clear. It could be something such as take the next step, call so and so, do the whatever. And when you hear that voice, it's never from a place of harsh criticism or a place of pressure, like you should, you must, because then you know it's not your inner guidance, it's your mind, what's called the small ego, trying to fix things. Inner guidance comes in clearly and it repeats itself. So my aligning with working in people with trauma is really coming from that place of an inner guidance. I am here and I would invite you to be here and make choices around how you spend your time and your energy. Some of us have been diagnosed and have a time limited, some of us don't. And at the same time, every one of us is not guaranteed to live tomorrow. We take for granted that we are, yet we don't know. So my question to you is, what is today going to be your focus? What are you going to focus on today and every day? If this was your last day to live, what would be most important to you? And then tune into your heart. Listen. Is it people? Is it having to carry on a message to the world? Is it making a difference in your community? Is it being there for your family? Whatever that is, get that clear. Because your plan of action, your daily actions, and how you implement that plan of actions is absolutely depending on you making that decision. So inner guidance, every day, tune in, ask a question, listen to the answer, and focus your actions, align your day by day, based on what you receive. Then chances are, if at some point it is your last day and you take your last breath, you can look back and feel in your heart that you have done what you came here to do. And this is what I wish for you. So until we speak again next week, make time every day. It could be 5 minutes, it could be half an hour, to tune in, take some deep breath, sit down and listen to yourself. Listen to that voice inside that is calm, clear, and concise, and that will tell you when you ask a question what to do next. Feel free to post comments. And again, you can ask that question, how do I free myself to thrive beyond trauma? That could be one question that you ask. So until we speak again next week, I look forward to hearing and answering any questions you might have. I hope you have a wonderful week.